What's up, Rams? My name's Ryan Crist, here on another fantastic Thursday, bringing you all the latest and greatest in entertainment news, so let's jump right in. Betsy DeVos, the head of the Department of Education, was saying seatbelts, everyone, because this past Halloween, she went as Miss Frizzle, which is totally a fitting costume. I mean, don't we all remember those great episodes when Miss Frizzle told the students that she was excited for huge school budget cuts? Now, when this photo was posted, a lot of people, including public officials, saw her costume and they weren't happy. Representative Mark Buchan said in a tweet, "Unlike Betsy DeVos, Miss Frizzle supported science in the classroom and actually had a background in education." Tim Ryan said the difference is Miss Frizzle saw the value in quality public education. At the end of the day, though, we have to admit that her Miss Frizzle costume was pretty good. And who knows, maybe she'll pick a more realistic costume and go as Dolores Umbridge next year. As we all know from Tuesday's newscast, Kiara Coles talked about Jay Bieber and Selena Gomez being spotted together. Well, on Wednesday morning, these two were spotted riding their bikes together in LA and were looking very affectionate towards each other. According to E! News, a source claims that nothing is official yet, and we shouldn't even call it getting back together. They are two completely different people who are in a completely different type of relationship. However, Selena's friends have been noted saying she is better without him. While this public reunion between the two pop stars was a long time coming, it all started when Selena was going through her surgery over the summer, and Justin was a constant support system for her during this time. While we have no confirmation on their relationship, all we can say is, I guess it wasn't too late to say, I'm sorry. With Halloween being on Tuesday, I decided to take a look at a different style of trick-or-treating. This past weekend, two fun Halloween events were going on at the Lee Martinez Park Farm. The first event was Bow Wow Vania, where dogs got to dress up and go trick-or-treating.
Like, wait, I would have taken that. Proving that you can't do that.
So yeah, they come in, you get a treat bag at the door, it's pre-stuffed with some goodies already. You buy your ticket in advance. We sell them here at the farm and a couple of the recreation facilities. And you get your bag at the gate and trick-or-treat at about 13 storefronts. There's some displays if you want to do some cool photo ops, and out you go. It's just fun. They get dog bones instead of candy, of course.
And these dogs had some great costumes.
Do it later. All right.
Then, later that night, kids got to go to the second event, Treatsylvania, where they could trick-or-treat for candy.
Boo to you! And boo to you!
Happy Halloween!
Thank you, thank you!
Trick or treat! Trick or treat!
Trick or treat!
While this event was for kids, parents ended up loving it too.
So I think it's really cute, just all of the houses that they have, especially with all these little kids, it gives them kind of the feeling of, I don't know, almost a little bit of practice, you know?
It's safe too, which is kind of nice because a lot of you never know when you're walking through random neighborhoods if you've been there before or whatever. And a lot of times it seems like people don't necessarily participate anymore, so it's nice to find people that really participate and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done.
But family friendly.
Take this off?
Yeah. I guess that's what Halloween and trick-or-treating is all about. But
Okay.
yeah.
Trick or treat!
You say Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Treatsylvania and Bow Wow Vania will be back next year in case you missed it. Whether you're ready or not, everyone's favorite TV drama is coming back for a new spin-off. That's right. Jersey Shore, that show from like 5 years ago, got a brand new spin-off known as Floribama Shore. And looking at the trailer, this show looks rather interesting. This drama will take place where the sands of Florida meets Alabama. This show, of course, will feature 8 housemates getting into all kinds of drunken shenanigans. This show will air on November 27th, just in time for us to wish we were all at the beach. And who knows how this show will do. They don't have Snooki saying, "I'm not trashy unless I drink too much." In April, U2 made a guest appearance on Kendrick Lamar's song XXX, and yesterday it was announced that Kendrick returned the favor by lending this rock band a spoken word outro on their new song, Get Out Your Own Way. As of now, we have a piece of it from Spotify, which if you want to listen to, type in Get Out Your Own Way on Spotify. This is not the full song, as we can hear by it cutting out at the end, and the full song as well as the album will be released on Friday, December 1st. Now, I am joined here by Alec Eerickson. Thanks so much for being on the show, Alec.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this. You know a lot about music. So what do you think of this song? Of course, you've heard it. So
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting song. So it's U2's latest attempt. It's coming off their 14th studio album. So they've been making music for a long time. They've kind of gotten to this comfortable arena rock vibe. And so that's what they're going for with this. And you can see it with how it starts out with this chill kind of bass vibe, and it builds up and it builds up, and finally we have this massive chorus for the entire time. And so then it gets to this intricate, but it was very scripted guitar solo. And I thought it was very interesting. It was a great way to do the outro, and then Kendrick Lamar comes in on the spoken word. And it doesn't quite fit, I would have to say, because it's very gospel-esque. He's talking a lot about God and religion, and yet it doesn't fit with what everything else U2 is talking about during that song. And so it's kind of this weird mix-up. Obviously, like you were saying, it cuts out, so we don't actually have the full song yet, so who knows how the rest of it goes, but it's kind of this weird experience right now.
yeah, I totally agree. When I was listening to it, I was actually expecting Kendrick Lamar to rap or do something like that, because, you know, that's what he's known for, but just kind of at the end, it sounded very weird. It sounds like he just was like thrown in there after the fact. It almost seemed like it wasn't planned to me, you know. It seems like he was just in there to kind of be in there, since they were in his song, of course.
Yeah, and kind of like what you're saying is like U2 played a very massive role in XXX. Like U2 was the chorus for that song, and so they had a very large, prominent role within that song, and the rest of Kendrick's album was mostly comprised of features. And so Kendrick knows how to collaborate with other artists, and he knows what he's doing. And so it seemed kind of weird, and it almost seemed forced in a way, where U2 kind of returns the favor, and they're like, hey, we want you on a song, but we're going to throw you at the very end, no music, you're just going to talk, kind of thing. Like, you're not going to rap, you're not going to do whatever it is that you do best. You're going to kind of come in and be like, hey, here's my latest thoughts on kind of religion. And it's almost like a very Bible verse kind of thing, taken straight out of the Bible. But it's kind of weird how it was kind of played out.
It was really weird, and I also heard, after doing some research on this song, a lot of people are expecting that maybe he'll be in for another verse, and that this might be a longer song than the one we've seen on Spotify. What do you think they're going to do with that?
So I don't know if I agree with everyone that thinks it's going to be much more of a longer song. It's already just short of 5 minutes long. It's already a pretty heavy song, and it does what it needs to do. It has a build-up, it has a release, it peaks and valleys at a couple of moments. And so it does a lot, and so I don't think it can go much longer than maybe a few more verses. Who knows? Maybe, I'm guessing if the full song gets released, it's 6 minutes, maybe 6.5, but they can't go much further with what they have, especially if it's spoken word, because the music's done at the point when Kendrick comes in. There's no music behind him whatsoever. It fades, and then Kendrick starts coming in and just talking, and so it's kind of this weird spoken outro, and it's supposed to be one of the earlier songs in the record, and so it's kind of this weird pacing thing, and I'm more worried about how the structure of the rest of the record's going to go at that point, if that's what they're going to have in the middle of the record.
I agree. I feel like the people who are saying that he might come back in, that would just be weird to have all the music cut out, come back in, and give him either a rapping part or another spoken word verse, which would just sound weird. The song did sound pretty complete with his part in there.
Yeah, it's mostly complete, and the thing is with U2, they don't like to experiment with their sound. They are not very experimental now with their age. Like, their experimental age was way back in the 90s during some of their like 5th and 6th studio albums. They got really space rocky there for a while, and they've just found their soul in arena rock. Like, they are still selling out arenas, and that's kind of the style that they're going for. And so collaborating with a rapper is something that seems out of the park for them, and I can tell that this seems like something they weren't willing to risk too much.
Yeah, they definitely felt forced. What do you think they could have done to make it better? Like, how could have they used Kendrick Lamar and actually made him have like an impact in this song?
Honestly, I think Kendrick could have been utilized better if he came in earlier. If he had a part earlier in the song, either if it was on a pre-chorus or a verse, like something earlier than a spoken word outro to a song, even if it was the spoken word intro to a song, I think it could have had a bigger impact, because a lot of fans that are listening for Kendrick, they're not going to probably stick out that whole 5 minutes. But for some people, it's kind of this weird thing to hear Kendrick not rap. And so that's what he does. He's a rapper, and so we want to hear him kind of get out there, spit a few lines, but that's not what happened in this case.
I agree. I was tempted almost to fast forward to because I was wondering okay, when is he going to come in? But I listened to the whole thing. But anyways, thank you again so much for being on the show, Alec. I really appreciate getting your perspective on this.
Thank you, Ryan.
Well, Rams, that is all the time we have for you tonight. Remember to stay tuned for Monday Night Sports Show and have a great weekend, Rams.